Welcome to my Tag of the Day video series. Today's tag is going to be using cardstock as a base. This is pattern paper. It's Tim Holtz cut off pieces. I'm using a 3D texture fade with my Big Shot machine. I did roll it through and realized I added too much pressure. I should have taken one of the shims out, but I can still use it. It is pretty flimsy and it does rip here, but I make it work. I add some Distress Oxide. I was going for wood paneling. I had some of the Tim Holtz Vintage Wallpaper pieces and a portrait and a frame, and I thought I could put something together that it looks like it is hanging. So I grabbed some pattern paper for the top. I'm using this just to measure, not cutting here. Cutting the pattern for the top to almost look as though it is like wallpaper. Add it to my tag base. And make sure that it's all the way down. Add a little bit more distress, trim off all of the excess pieces. This tag is going to be a 4x8, I believe it is. Here I'm using the Paper Dolls groups, and I'm adhering it to the Vintage Wallpaper. So it's textured paper from Tim Holtz. It comes in a pack with a bunch of different wallpaper patterns. And then I'm going to frame it. So it's going to look like a portrait. Once I have it lined up, I add the frame on, trim off the excess. Because it is the thicker paper dolls at the bottom, I do have to use my scissors. I didn't want to jam up my trimmer with that thicker piece. It almost cuts as though it's a heavy cardboard, almost. And then I'm going to add some Distress Oxide to make it a little more aged. And I apologize for being out of frame. And I add it to my card. I'm going to add some trim to make it look as though it's a hanging portrait. So I add my hole, grab my ribbon, found an old vintage button with a clasp, plastic clasp, that's what holds the button on. Lining it up and realizing I don't really like how that goes, so I'm going to readjust it. I use my hole punch to add holes in the frame so I can lace my ribbon through it. I decide I want my knot on the top instead of what my initial thought was just to tie them to ties at the bottom. So I tie it in a knot so that it's hanging. So it looks like it's again an old portrait in an old home hallway or something. The button with the plastic on the back is a little too tight, so I have to readjust it. I take the button apart and reline it up. I decided to use my tiny attacher to staple the ribbon at the top so that it does stay in place. Add the button back in, and then adhere down the frame once I have it lined up. I'm going to add some tiny text stickers to the bottom. A little saying. Add some distress. And there you have it. It's about done. Thank you guys so much for watching my Tag of the Day series. For more tags, you can visit my YouTube channel at From My Scrap Room. I have a Tag of the Day series. I have quick reels, shorts, tags that are viewed in less than 3 minutes, or I have process tags with the voice like I have right here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day.